Dr. DeBoer, first of all, I want to acknowledge your resume. You went to the two best public universities in the country, the world. Go Bears, go Blue. I represent a part of the San Francisco Bay Area that has tech in the East Bay, but is also heavily industrialized. So we've had real challenges in the industrial sector with 5 refineries, chemical plants, manufacturing, although that's trying to rebound. So in California, I led a task force in the legislature, bipartisan, because we had eliminated a lot of our career tech infrastructure. And it was interesting going around the state and seeing how regionally we had gone away from that. We had heavily bought on the Bay Area that knowledge-based economy. Everybody was going to get a bachelor's degree, and the world had changed. So we have made really good progress on a bipartisan level in California about building back partnerships, career tech, and then with community college districts. The state California building and construction trades has changed dramatically. 80% of their members are minority and women. I was recently with them in a very disadvantaged community. You will remember this, Richmond, where we've got apprenticeship programs where kids from poverty are getting really good jobs in the industrial sector right out of college, $125,000, $150,000 a year. They are deliberately looking for kids who need opportunities. So I've spent a lot of time with the Labor Institute at Berkeley, been to Michigan to talk to your folks. This is a real partnership. The employers are the ones who are pushing the hardest because they need this skilled workforce, and they need it generationally at a time that the demographics are a challenge, but also the needs on energy transition. And since there aren't a lot of deep water ports in the West Coast, I mean, it's Puget Sound, Long Beach in LA, and San Francisco. Trying to do that is very important for the global and the national economy. And it's sort of a missing part of our discussion here about how do we rebuild these scales, knowing that we're going to have energy transition for 2 or 3 generations of the workforce, and we're going to have to retrain those folks. We have to train them in the first place, but we have to retrain them as well. You want to train those IBW and Boilermakers, but you got to get ready for, they're going to be doing different work over this transition. Could you speak to that in your experience?
Absolutely. I'll actually reference economic history in responding to your question, because we are at a moment of transformation. And if we were to look to the past to kind of understand what might be coming in the future, I think we're sitting at a moment where there will be a proliferation of jobs in the next decade, 2 decades, that we do not yet know much about, right? These are going to be new to world occupations that we will have to figure out how to train a workforce for. I think what's exciting in looking at the data is that there are 70 million workers who are skilled through alternative routes, who are building skills in their jobs today, who could transfer a lot of those skills into the newer jobs that are coming online. I think how we now start to think about training programs to support them to make those transitions effectively and efficiently is a really important question for communities, because to your point, what is really interesting to study across the United States is regionally how many of these communities are performing for workers varies.
Hello, friends. New details have just been released. The Social Security Administration may have to begin drawing on the trust fund to continue paying out monthly benefits to beneficiaries. Possible solutions have been put forward, including smaller cost of living adjustments or raising taxes. My dear friends, please do me a big favor and watch until the end of this video. Also, this coming Friday, I will be announcing several more winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, dear friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Social Security has proven steadfast and strong for millions of Americans. Not only is it the largest source of income for most retirees, but it also has never missed a monthly payment since it cut its first check in 1940. A recent poll showed that 50% of Americans are not confident in the future of the program. According to experts, while worrying about the program is hardly new, with younger Americans typically more doubtful than older Americans, the skeptics do have a point. Social Security's finances are unquestionably on a downward slope, and fixing them is primarily in the hands of the U.S. Congress. But if no action is taken, the moment of crisis, meaning when the program would no longer have adequate money to fully pay its promised benefits, will happen in just 1 decade. It is likely that pressure will build to act before that moment for Congress. Reed Ribble, a former Republican congressman from Wisconsin's 8th District, told reporters, "Any reform that's politically feasible requires things that both parties hate. Republicans have never wanted to increase revenue, and just dealing with it on the benefit side is not politically feasible. In 10 years, the program would only have ongoing tax revenue with which to fund payments. Calculations show that would only cover 80% of promised benefits. To Congress, 2033 is a long way off. But the sooner the legislature acts, the quicker and easier it will be to bolster the trust fund's reserves. A hard-working baby boomer generation helped the Social Security Trust Fund grow to a peak of over $2.9 trillion. But with the baby boomers retiring and fewer workers feeding into the system, the funds are projected to be depleted in 2033. What needs to happen to secure Social Security for the long term? According to AARP, there are variables that are out of direct control of the SSA or Congress. According to AARP, there are variables that are out of direct control of the SSA or Congress, such as the economy, wages, life expectancy, and birth rates. But if projections hold more or less true, the options are simple. Congress will have to raise taxes, modify benefits, or do some of both. Those options come down to any variation of a handful of leading approaches that are discussed by policymakers. This year, someone with $1 million in work income would pay the same amount of OASDI tax as someone with $160,200 in wages. Eliminating the taxable wage cap would keep the trust fund solvent until the year 2060. Other less drastic approaches is to simply raise the cap to a higher level, or keep the cap but resume taxing after wages reach a new threshold. The current rate is 12.4%. Some propose raising that incrementally, about 2 percentage points to 14.4%, as a way to bring additional dollars into the trust funds. But some experts note that such a tax increase would be hardest felt by those who earn lower wages or who are self-employed. It is also possible that Congress will broaden the base. Not all state and local employees are covered by Social Security. Some have only public pension coverage, bringing all newly hired state and local workers into the Social Security system would create a large new influx of cash, although it would mean more beneficiaries to pay later. Each year, the SSA usually adjusts beneficiary payments to help protect their purchasing power from any inflation. The yardstick used is a government CPIW. Proposals have been floated around to switch to different inflation measures, or simply to outright reduce the COLA. Social Security annual increases have long been below the general inflation rate, and many people say reducing the annual COLA would likely have little impact on the long-term financial health of the program. But its impact on beneficiaries would compound over time, reducing benefits by a greater amount each year. So, dear friends, what should our government do to solve the problem with Social Security? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. My dear friends, thank you so very, very much for being here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway every Friday. Friends, please make sure that you enter the giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful, safe, and blessed weekend.